Phil and Will are back, the Survivor specialists. I don't know how that are back. I swear I'm going to figure it out one day. We got the episode 5 predictions coming up. This episode, we got the tribe swap coming. And guess what? We don't know the tribes. And this stinks because that made power ranking super, super hard. And this is probably the most in the dark we've been ever going into an episode in terms of not actually knowing the tribes for a swap. And this sucks. We are going to let everybody down this week, Will.
Yeah, I mean, it will be fun kind of to just take random guesses, shots in the dark about, who lines up with who, but you see it all the time. Tribe swap happens. I mean, it changes everything. It's just like it's a lot of luck is involved. We can't really gauge where people are going to go. But I think that will give me a chance to come back because I'm pretty far down, I think. How many points down am I from you?
You're only down 6, which really isn't bad. That's not bad at all.
It was the Jenny boot that I had her.
Yeah, that was the big 4-point boot. The other one was Alicia. You just lost 2 to me on because we both had her way higher, not expecting there to be an actual tribal council last week. We both had Caleb at the bottom. So, yeah, it's only that one.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's kick it off. This will be fun. If you haven't checked out our recap, do that. It was a pretty short one just because, it was pretty much all medevac talk. That tribal was so straightforward. But hopefully we'll, continue this awesome pre-merge because I've enjoyed every episode so far. So you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I will because I told you I was going to have the same person at number 1 until they end up winning the game, and that's Michelle. Keeping Michelle at number 1. She's going to end up winning the game. I'm keeping her at 1 all the way from the start to the end. She's going to run this thing. That's all I want. I kept saying last week after the episode that they really showed that moment between the Beauty Girls and Ty when they found out that Caleb was going home. Anna's reaction, Michelle's reaction, Ty's reaction, Julia's reaction. They drew a lot of attention to Michelle's. They drew so much attention to Ty's, obviously. They drew a lot of attention to Anna's. And I think those are your 3. I think Julia's kind of just the 4th there. Don't think she's really going to win this thing. But, man, Michelle didn't get a confessional, but her talking to Jeff about how overwhelmed she is and everything, I really like where she's at here. If the Beauties end up somehow staying together, I think this is the most cohesive tribe out of all of them by far. I think they would stick together and try to vote somebody else out. It's a lot easier to make a way into the brains or the brawn. And on top of that, something interesting, and I don't know if you watched the preview here, the new one that came out, but they didn't really show anything. It was just everybody like running around. It was all previous episodes and stuff like that. And then it gets to them actually on the mats, and Jeff says, "We're gonna everybody drop your buffs, but just one more twist." And it just ends with that. And they don't say anything. They don't show any of the tribe swap. They don't do anything like that. And I'm wondering what this one more twist is. And my thinking is that somehow a lot of these people are going to end up staying together. And I wouldn't be surprised if they almost did something like, I don't know how they're going to do this, but I think like that somehow these Beauties and the brains stick together a little bit more, and the bronze are really the only ones who get hurt by this. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking.
That's interesting. There is that one more twist. It looked like, though, from the press images that it's that standard tray of buffs, kind of, they're wrapped up in something, and people are grabbing them. I know one of the pictures was Scott grabbing one, and he is on the bronze tribe, so maybe that would make sense. But I don't know. I feel like it's got to be random. Could it maybe – no, because it wouldn't be a merge this early. I mean, merge them now and then demerge, and I mean, I don't know if they do that.
Because it definitely looked like they were all pulling, and I doubt Jeff's going to have them all go through the whole process of pulling a buff that's all wrapped up and stuff if they're merging.
Well, that could be funny though, just to surprise them. They all grab a buff and they're all the same color. Like that would be a pretty good reveal if they did go that route. I doubt it happens just because then they have to unmerge and then merge again. It just wouldn't make sense.
Here's what I'm thinking. That would be a Fiji move, which didn't work then. Here's what I'm thinking. Because there's 13 people, that's going to be the one more twist. Somebody's going to get screwed somehow. I don't know what they're going to get, how they're going to get screwed, or what they're going to get screwed with, or how that's going to work. But there's 13 people, and I bet the one more twist, they have something unique planned for somebody who draws like the odd-colored rock. You know what I mean? I bet they have something planned for them.
That's true. But we've seen that like before, especially when there's Exile Island. That's usually the case. The person that picks the odd one or doesn't get drafted or something like that, they will go to exile, or they can pick a team to win immunity and then, go with that team. Or whoever loses the challenge, they're going to gain that extra player. I don't know. It is weird. They didn't plan on doing this at 13, so that it is probably something to do with that. I'm surprised that you have Beauty at number 1. I assume you have more after Michelle, just because you talked about the 3 girls and Ty. But a part of me thinks that they're the only tribe that hasn't lost a challenge. So if you're Brains and if you're Braun, you're kind of looking at those players as the top dogs. They're the threats. And then you throw in Caleb got medevaced. They have that like kind of sympathy story. You know they're going to be really tight. And if I'm Brain or Braun, I want to target a Beauty. And I know Brains has 5 people also, but it's just more of that mentality. They haven't lost yet.
The thing is, I don't think any other tribe is cohesive enough to do it. I don't think Brains would stick together. I think they're too all over the place. There's too many big personalities on that tribe. I think Beauty's the one who can stick together and actually put a plan into motion. I don't think the other tribes can. I mean, yeah, the 3 Brawns probably can, but they're really just 3 numbers at the end of the day. Whether they end up on the tribe of 7 or the tribe of 6 and somehow they are intact, they don't have the numbers without pulling somebody over. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, they might be able to pull a Brain and vote out a Beauty or something like that. But I just think that the Beauties, if the Brawns all stay intact, I don't see that tribe losing anyway, because I do think that these are the 3 strongest Brawn members that you could have out of the way the tribe started. But I don't know. I just don't see the Beauties ever going against each other, but I see the Brains and stuff going against each other. The only one I think they go against is Nick, and that was coming from the Caleb interview. I think it was Caleb. He was saying that the girls found Nick very creepy. So I would worry about Nick, but I don't worry about Ty, Anna, Julia, or Michelle.
Okay, I just could see like a tribe of 7. You know, there's 3 Brains, maybe 1 Brawn, and then 3 Beauty, and then the Braun's in the middle. He or she is more likely to side with the Brains since they've already lost. Like Beauty is kind of what I don't know. That's my thinking. I have Kyle at number 1. I think he's just such a big character, and we've seen so much of him, and I don't think it's necessarily the case with Ty, where Ty, he is great TV. So if he were to go out episode 5, his episode 4 could his 4 episodes would explain his huge edit, because he is such a big character. Kyle, they're like giving him a lot of background. We know about his kids, we know about his family. He explains himself. Like, he had that thing where he was kind of apologetic to Alicia in the confessional a little bit, like, I just lost it. It was not, couldn't keep my cool. Stuff like that about his emotions. I think he's going to go much farther in this game than episode 5. So I have Kyle at number 1.
Yeah, I have Kyle at number 2. He's got an idol. That's the big thing here with Kyle. He's got an idol. And if there's one person in this game who's not going to get voted out with an idol in his pocket, it's Kyle. He's going to play it like Tony did. He's going to play it like Russell did. He might play it when he doesn't need to, but he's certainly not going to go out with it in his pocket. He's going to be able to sniff it out. I feel like he's going to be a paranoid player, especially as this gets to the individual portion of the game. He's not going to have control really ever, especially not like he did at his tribe. No way he ever gets voted out with an idol. I got him at 2, and I'll just go to number 3. I got Ty at 3 because he's got an idol too. And in an episode where I literally don't know the tribes, I got to put Ty at 3 strictly because of the idol, because of his great relationship with everybody on Beauty, and because I don't think people are going to dislike him. I think they're going to like him enough that they're not going to want to vote him out yet. And if they do, he's got enough friends that are going to say, hey, the vote's coming your way. Play your idol. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that the Beauties would ever vote Ty out, especially not right after what happened with Caleb.
Right. I don't think the Beauties would turn on him at all, but I think you find a guy, I don't know how strong he is in challenges. I mean, it seems like he can hold his own, but he's not the strongest person physically. And then toss on that he's just so likable. And if he falls on the wrong side of the numbers, and he had that really ominous quote, what did he say about the idols? Like, I will not go out with this in my pocket. Like, he said it very straightforward, and it was almost setting him up to kind of, go out with it. Kind of like,
not this week, man.
Francesca eating the rock, So I don't know. I don't have Ty as high as you. I'm actually going to go with Sydney at number 2, which could be really high. But again, this is a shot in the dark. We haven't talked about this much, but I know Rob has been talking about it, the intentional Matt Singh. We haven't brought it up once, but kind of like when these tribes get whittled down and they fall apart, they do really well come swap times because they're numbers that people can grab. So I think Sydney's in a good spot, and she seems like she's got the social skills and the chops to kind of work her way in no matter where she falls.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with Sydney. I'm going to get way ahead of you here, but I'm just going to go with it since you said it. I got Scott at 4 and Sydney at 5 for exactly what you just said. The people who get low in numbers, it seems like in these types of 3-tribe seasons, they become so valuable once a tribe swap happens because they don't have any other allegiance other than the people that they're with. I mean, Malcolm and Denise even went to separate tribes, but that was just a number for somebody to use in their alliance. I mean, Denise went to every single tribal council in that season and never got voted out. And then she wins in a landslide at the end. So, like, I think that's what's going to happen here with Kyle, Scott, and Sydney. I don't think that they're going to get where all three of them are on one tribe. I think it's going to get split 2-1. But wherever they end up, man, they're going to be in a good position because people are going to value that. I mean, here's somebody, if you're the one person, let's say Kyle goes to a tribe and he doesn't get Scott or get Sydney, people are going to be like, man, let's pull Kyle in because we can use him. And I don't think Kyle's aggressive, but I don't think he's like the type of player who's going to be like, look at me, I'm in the best position, everybody's coming to me. I think he's one of those people who will sit back and kind of let them keep coming to him and then make an aggressive move at tribal like he did with Jenny without ever really outwardly being like, look at me, I'm arrogant. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think he has a really nice balance of being an aggressive player, but not overly so in public. And yeah, he has a good job of that. I have, this might seem high too, but I have Aubrey at number 3, just because we haven't seen all that much of her, and she seems to be connected. I mean, Neil was her like pair buddy, I guess, when they did the buddy system over at the Brains tribe, but seems like a good relationship with Joe and Debbie. So no matter where, I mean, yeah, she could land on a tribe with just Peter, but Peter was clashing, I think, mainly with Neil and a little bit with Joe. So I think Aubrey and Peter could work together. I don't think they have any beef. So I got Aubrey at 3.
Okay. Yeah, keep rolling a little bit here because I am already at 5 and you're only at 3. So just keep going.
Right. Okay. I at 4 I have Scott, just because he is just so big and we're still in the pre-merge situation. Like, you need to win challenges. You don't want to go to tribal. And we did see him be a total jackass. Even though I kind of partially defend him on the recap, just saying we don't know what it was like to be out there living with Alicia, but he's getting a pretty negative edit here. So you kind of have to worry a little bit, but he is huge. He's physical, and he's the Braun tribe again. Like, he's another number that you could use. And then at 5, this is where I'm going to start going with the beauty people. I just have him a little bit lower, but I have Ty at 5. He does have the idol. I don't think it's going to be this episode, but it would not shock me. I'm glad you have him higher than me so that I can pick up some points if he does go home, because that quote is just, yeah, I'm going to be thinking about that until he plays it or gets voted out.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this out there too now. I have Sydney as my eliminator pick just because I'm not sure what's going to end up happening in this episode, but I think it's pretty safe to pick a Braun this episode. I've already picked Scott, and I think Kyle's meant to go a lot deeper in this game. So I'm going to go Sydney. I'm already up on you. You got 2 in a row on me, so I feel pretty good about this one. So I'll keep her there. Like I said, my Michelle pick at number 1. Do I think she's the safest person in this episode? No, but I'm keeping her at number 1 until I actually think because I said she was going to win this game, and I said I was going to keep her at number 1 the entire time of my power rankings until she wins. So that is definitely a little sketchy this week, and I could definitely see her going home, but I don't think she's going home, so I'm keeping her there at number 1.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't even think about the eliminator. I'll have to think about it as we go through here. At what am I at, 5 now?
I didn't think that's right now.
What's that?
You did 5. We both did 5. So whoever wants.
Okay,
to
I'll go 6.
Whoever wants to go.
I'm going with Anna. She is my winner pick. Preseason, still my winner pick. We saw her, make that deal with Caleb, and of course he's gone now. But we've seen, good strategy from her. Okay, confessionals. She had that one episode where she didn't have any, but she seems like a savvy player. I don't think there's any reason to really target her. She seems like she holds her own in the challenges too. So I feel pretty safe rolling with Anna here.
Yeah, I actually have Neil at 6, and this might seem kind of high with Neil, but I think Neil is in a pretty good position, and I think people gravitate towards Neil. And he might seem like a little bit of like a strategic mind and everything like that, but I don't think he's going to be targeted by like a Kyle or a Scott or something like that. I think they target, for some reason, I feel like they just – I know they got rid of Darnell instantly, but that was because he messed up. Neil's not going to mess up in a challenge, I don't think. And if he does – I feel like they just have this natural ability that just seems to be like what they wanted to do. They want these are like these huge macho buff dudes. They want to get rid of the women in this game. I think Neil's okay. I don't think Beauty's ever going to really target Neil. I actually think Neil could fit in pretty well with the Beauty. I think everybody on Brains except for Peter really likes Neil. So I like where Neil's at. And then I'll just go to 7 because you already said her. I got Anna at 7. Like where Anna's at, not really too much to say about her. Nothing really changed last. Man, I'm telling you, those reactions from Michelle, Anna, and Julia and Ty about the show. Because, like, in the early days, that would have meant nothing. But these days, they try to build the storyline so much. This just feels like a storyline builder to me. I don't know why, but I can't get my head
No,
out of that.
it's very true. And maybe they also were trying to build up Caleb's character because it looks like he's 100% returning after they mentioned it twice. So you can imagine maybe that's another reason why they showed that. But I tend to agree with you on this that they are. I think one of them wins the game. I honestly think that. I got Michelle at 7, 6. I'm so bad with numbers. I cannot keep track. 7. Pretty much everything you just said about Michelle. I don't think I need to, harp on her any longer. My only problem with your pick with Neil, which I am just a little bit lower, is that these tribe divisions, you have brain, brawn, beauty. Beauty is not really has nothing to do with your personality. I mean, it obviously builds a little bit who you are. Looks do matter in the real world. Sorry for people who might believe looks don't matter. And then you have brawn, where it's just like these are big buff people. Brain is just that's threatening. Like even if you're not that smart, you're just on the brain's tribe because that's the way it shook out. Like people are just gonna be worried about it. They're like, wow, Neil is probably super, super smart. Like he's probably a really clever guy, even if he's not trying to be deceiving or manipulative. Brains people just might get that rap. So I do worry a little bit for Neil.
Well, and that's why I was kind of surprised you had Aubrey so high. I worry a little bit more for her because she's on the brains tribe and she's weaker. I mean, she's just straight up weaker. And I think that's, or even if she's not, she's going to be perceived as weaker. And I fear a little bit more for Aubrey because of the stigmatism of being on the brain tribe. And as well, she's just Neil. So I don't know. I go both ways with this.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Does everyone know what Neil does? Like, has he come out and said I'm like on entrepreneur? Because if you're an entrepreneur, that's more threatening.
I think so.
How old is Aubrey? I feel they know that these divisions are
27.
Okay. I mean, she's a little bit on the younger side. She works in social media. And I'm not saying she's not smart, but she seems like one of the least of the brainier people. Like, where else would you put Aubrey? Like, and I think people might see that, and you see it with Alicia and Darnell. Like, they just weren't really. They weren't brawn. So people know that these aren't, cut and dry divisions. So I don't know. I think Aubrey can kind of fit in. Not as threatening.
Yeah. I go 8. I got Julia to round out the beauty girls. I think she's like in a good middle position. She could be seen as weak though in a tribe swap. So that's the only reason I have her this low as the lowest of the girls. But I think she's golden. She's a merge candidate for sure. I think she's definitely on a jury.
Yeah, that seems like it's headed that way. At 8, I have Peter. This might seem high, but if he ends up on a tribe and with only one other brains person, he's gonna flip. Like he wants to work with other people. So I think he's kind of in the same boat with the brawn people that he's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. So I kind of like Peter's chances here. He's also a really big fit guy. You got to win challenges. And if you talk to him, he doesn't seem like the brainiest person. Like he's an ER doctor. Like he's book smart, and people might not be as threatened by that as someone like who's an entrepreneur or an FBI agent, even though Joe is not threatening at all. Like Liz, she was threatening, very, very threatening. She said she worked for, I know she lied about her job, but he's like, why is she on the brain tribe? Like there's something up with that. He's like goes, I'm an ER doctor. People go, oh, he's a doctor. Like he's smart, but he's not going to screw me over. Yeah.
We all know doctors. Exactly. Well, I at 9 I have Debbie. I have like a bunch of brains here and Nick because I'm like that convinced that the bronze are safe. The beauty is the only one who's in trouble other than the brains. I got Debbie at 9 just because her edit is huge. I feel like we're setting up for her. She started off as the underdog. She's coming around, and I feel like we're going to get – Debbie's going to fit in with somebody and really make a huge, deep push into this game. And I just want to do my number 10 because you talked about her so much. I got Aubrey at 10. I already said everything I need to say about Aubrey. I just fear for her because she looks weaker than she really is because in that first challenge she killed it. But she looks weaker, and with the brain stigmatism, it's not a good thing.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you. I had the same number 9 as you. I have Debbie. She's actually she's a really great player. I mean, apart from kind of talking all the time, which is not what you want to do at a camp of 6 people. That's going to get old really quickly. That might get you voted out. But besides that, she seems to have a pretty good game sense and like know where she's at. She straight up said, they're underestimating me. They know, they think I'm some crazy old lady, but she's pulling the strings. I mean, she literally pulled the strings on that Liz boot. So I give her some credit. She could end up on the wrong side of the numbers, maybe be annoying, maybe not the strongest in challenges. And there's a lot of reasons to get rid of Debbie, but I have to give her credit so far. So I got her at 9. And then I have 10. I have Julie. We just haven't seen much of her, and she could be a good player, but she could be like the Kelly Wentworth of San Juan del Sur, like who just kind of just bad luck. Like, the cards did not fall your way.
Yeah.
He's on that beauty tribe that I've already said they're definitely the biggest threats in this game right now because they haven't lost. So if you can take someone out, again, not likely to have an idol. She's the youngest. I don't know. Good reasons to vote her out also.
No, it makes sense to put her this low. I mean, I feel like I'm actually biased with these girls here. If I'm going to kill mine, I got Peter at 11 just because he's not in with the brains. And if he does end up working with the brains, if he ends up on a tribe that's primarily brains, he's screwed. So I think the brains, if they can like go into it and already have numbers and not really have to worry about it, they'll vote Peter out because they're more worried about Peter flipping on them than actually keeping the brains numbers. Because what is good of keeping 4 brains together if he's not really a brain to begin with? You know what I mean? So it's really only 3 anyway. I got Nick at 12. I still really feel fear for Nick. He's a big guy. He's going to be useful for whatever tribe he ends up in challenges. Caleb interview opened eyes to me. Caleb liked him. He said Ty kind of liked him. But the girls were a little creeped out by the guy. They said his smile was fake. It was too big. Like, he just seemed fake. And that's really what I get from Nick. And I worry for Nick that this is it. Like, Nick is going to end up screwing himself over by trying to be, like, too smarmy with all these other people, and it's going to get him voted out. 13, I got Joe. He's the oldest guy. That's why I'm putting him at 13 in a Tribe Swap episode. It's the same thing that happened with Bob in Gabon. Yeah, he went on to win, but during the Tribe Swap episode, he was ranked 3rd by his tribe and was still the last pick. And here you have Joe, who's older. He might not be weaker, but people are just going to instantly assume that he is. And if he ends up with less brains or with like a Peter and only one other person, I see Joe being booted right away.
Yeah, and we just haven't seen anything from him. Like, this could be a classic. We have a lot going on in a swap episode. You got people aren't meeting people for the first time. The audience needs to get adjusted to like who's on whose tribes. We probably won't have a challenge unless they do it right then. So it could be like, this is the excitement. It's the swap, and then we're going to go with like a boot we haven't given much screen time to. So I could see that. I have Neil all the way at 11, and this might seem low, but again, he's just the brains thing, really. I think for a guy like his age and his kind of, I think he's good socially, but it's almost like you said, he's so likable. People do gravitate towards him. I worry about people like that if I'm out there on Survivor. I'm like, stay away from anybody who's got a really great smile and like really genuine, because something's up, especially on the Brains tribe. I have Joe at 12, and then I have Nick all the way at 13. I think I have said already, challenge strength is pretty good, but they know a merge is pretty imminent after a swap, especially when a medevac already happened. It's probably only going to last 2 episodes, maybe 3 at like the top. But like you said, creepy guy. I mean, I wanted to give him credit preseason that he knew what he was doing and that he was being honest when he said he was better at listening and better at faking a smile. He clearly isn't. Like, everyone has seen right through him. So, and he's the only one on the beauty tribe that really hasn't gotten anything. And he wasn't in that shot that you keep referring to. So, yeah. Nick at 13.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Who's your eliminator, so we don't forget? Because I don't know if we forgot last week or what, but I know you ended up with Neil, but I'm not sure.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Peter here.
Okay.
He's that solo guy. And we're gonna have a tribe of 7 here and a tribe of 6. Maybe the brains are going to try to like reconcile with him. I mean, Debbie said right after that tribal council, like, we had to get Liz out. Like, she was snaky. Sorry to like, kind of throw you under the bus a little bit. I know he beefed with Neil really hard, but if they need Peter's number, he could go back to brains. That's a very likely possibility, or he can go to brawn or beauty. So I think Peter will be okay, at least for this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good pick because I don't think he goes super far. So I like that pick there. You want to get into comments because that's what we do.
Yeah, let's get into the comment. We need some energy here. I mean, it's pretty tough to just run through a list when we don't know the tribes. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to hear some questions, kind of liven it up a bit.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to start with Twitter because that's
So we
it's
do.
easier. Ravinja Sharma, knowing that there are 2 more medevacs that come, I feel like one of them is a clear winner. I think he means like a clear winner edit. I really hope not. We lost our likable medevac. I hope the other 2 is, I'm not saying these people aren't likable, but I hope the other 2 medevacs are somebody like Joe and somebody like, if it's got to be one of the girls, probably Julia or Aubrey, who really haven't made an imprint on this season. I don't want to see a Michelle, an Anna, a Ty, Kyle go down, Debbie. I don't want to see one of them get medevac. I don't. I hope not.
Right. And do we know that it's 3 medevacs? Like, has that been confirmed? I think that was kind of like the word on the street. We also have Liz that got medevac from Ponderosa. I mean, not the official Ponderosa, but she was out of there. She didn't go on like the pre-jury trip. So maybe that was like semi-included in that number.
And
have 3.
That's what I haven't been able to figure out.
Which is good. I'm glad, because then we had 3 people go down in one challenge, and that could have started that that number 3 circulating around. And we've already had the bug in the ear. We've had just Ty's bleeding feet as he's trying to climb a tree, and then that brutal. I mean, it's been brutal already. Even if we had no other medical stuff the rest of the season, which I doubt is the case because it's been so played up, like it's already been brutal. Like I think we've like covered it. It is possible to have covered it.
Yeah. Ted McCormick, what do you think is more likely, all winners or legends? Also, does Caleb come back season 36-ish for fans versus favorites? I'll tell you, the next time they do any type of returning season, Caleb's back. They've played up Caleb so much. Production loves Caleb. Jeff Probst loves Caleb. CBS loves Caleb. Caleb comes back the next time that there is any type of thing. Yeah.
And
next time.
And that's looking like it's season 34. So I think we're literally going to see him season 32, season 34, which we're obviously not huge fans of that, but that's the way it goes. I do enjoy returning season because Second Chance was so great. But it is a bit soon.
Yeah, it is a bit soon, but I'm okay with somebody like Caleb who wasn't overdone, something like that. The next question from Ted McCormick is also, if Caleb comes back again, does he or any of the others look like legends? I think Kyle shoots off the page instantly as a legend. Debbie shoots off the page as a legend, and Ty shoots off the page as a legend. The 3 of them I could see coming back if there was like a legends type season or something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. At least one of those players will play again. Maybe all 3.
Probably Debbie. I think Debbie's the highest chance just because there's less women that are memorable on this show.
That's a good point. That makes sense. There's lots of competition to get back. We saw it with the Second Chance vote. We like Natalie Tanarelli, Michaela, them kind of getting in the vote. Do you really want to bring those people back? I mean, that's why they didn't get voted on.
Exactly. Monica ends up being back on, and she was invisible the whole time. Mel just realized how similar Joe and Caleb are. Challenge beasts, push themselves to the limit, and very attractive. There you go. We got to get our man crushing in.
Good.
There it is. Chef, I mean, this is something I'll definitely talk about, so forget it. This is something I'll talk about, even though it's not Survivor related. So pumped during Selection Sunday. Who's your Final 4? I mean, it's not Survivor related, but it's the most important thing going on in the world right now.
It is. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is like the best sports weekend of the entire year. It is just awesome. I'm going to fill out like 50 brackets, try to hit a perfect one, because each website allows you to do like 10 or something.
Yeah.
So you can just go to all the websites and I'll do it at work tomorrow when I'm not working.
Exactly. I'll tell you though, if he wants a Final 4, gut reaction, Miami, because they're Miami, and Miami's going to win the entire thing. Michigan State's easy. That's like almost a guarantee. Oklahoma, just because that one scares me. I don't know what's going to happen in that bracket. And then I think UNC. Everybody's saying Kentucky.
Phil, you have the same Final 4 as me.
There you go.
Exactly the same.
Wow. I mean, it's just like everybody's saying Kentucky, but like, what did they do? They won the SEC tournament. It's a crappy conference. It's a terrible conference. Good for them. They won a crappy conference tournament. Like anybody can.
Yeah, I mean, the thing you got to look for is you want a good coach. Good coach goes a long way in the NCAA tournament because you're playing just different teams that you've never seen before. You got to really plan out the matchups. Well, now we're just going full NCAA tournament, which is fine. But maybe we can talk about this later. I don't know. Same Final 4 as you, Phil. Miami's
but okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just so everybody knows, Chef goes to Syracuse or went to Syracuse, one or the other. Syracuse has no business being in the tournament, and if they were going to make the tournament, they should be playing in the first four in Dayton, 100%. The fact that they were in by that much is actually sickening as like a fan of college basketball. They did nothing to deserve to be in by that much. Rip me apart, Chef, but anything you say is absolutely wrong. I have no problem with them being in the first four, but the fact that they don't even have to play in that round is mind-blowing with how crappy they were. And I'm all for the ACC getting as many teams in as possible. There is no way. And don't give me the Bayheim crap.
Clemson was like pretty good.
Yeah, but they didn't deserve to get in.
I mean, they had no shot, but I think Clemson's better than Syracuse. Okay,
moving on.
Right.
Yeah. Chef, back to Survivor. I'm expecting a schoolyard pick this week, which hasn't been done since Panama, I believe. It looks like they're just handing out buffs. I wish they would do a damn schoolyard pick again. They just don't.
I couldn't agree more. I love the pick. It adds so much to the game, especially because it's, you get picked and then you can't pick someone on your tribe, and then the next person you can probably whisper like, yo, grab this person. Like there's just it's so much more interesting than people randomly grabbing buffs. And I don't know, at least there's some strategy to it. And it's not just blind chance.
Mm-hmm. Larry Miller, do you think there are any moments in past Survivor that people would freak if social media was around? Go watch anything we said during Worlds Apart. You'll get all of the answers there because we just ripped apart so many things that were done. There's like a lot of things said by Parvati that would totally be frowned upon now, but she's a legend. And Rudy, every single word
it's pretty much every single if you watch the older seasons, it's just people talking, and anything can cause outrage right now. So
and that's why Survivor's still on TV, is because if you watch that show in order, it actually like shows you where the head of America was at every single season. Like just watch the evolution of that, and you literally see the evolution of America. And I'm not exaggerating one bit. Like, It's ridiculous how much it's changed. It really is. And seriously, in the first season, the most popular player was a homophobic 72-year-old man. If Joe was homophobic this season, everyone would hate him. Just watch it.
It could not be. You could not be more true. This is, fella, you're revealing things to me I did not know. This is big. Survivor shows the evolution of America.
It really does. It really does. Pretty soon, Donald Trump's going to win Survivor. You just watch. Larry Miller again, Survivor specialist, really. Yeah, that's the theme we came up with. If you don't get the pun, I mean, come on. It's the Phillip reference. We got to come up with specialist nicknames.
It's not a pun.
Well, it's not a pun. Whatever. If you don't get the reference, my bad. But we got to come up with specialist nicknames. Maybe we'll have Phillip actually give them to us.
That'd be cool.
But that would be cool. I can only imagine what he would call us. But yeah, it's the Survivor specialist. I wanted studs so friggin' bad, but it just didn't happen. Jimmy O'Connor, I think Peter will be here for a long time, maybe a Sash arc or at least close to Final Tribal Council. I think that's really close to being accurate. I wouldn't be surprised he goes to Final Tribal just like Sash did and gets absolutely 0 votes.
That could happen.
But I think that might be more of where Kyle's headed. Let's jump over to YouTube. I'm going to do last week's video because I said we'd read them. I was sick. I was being a baby. But there's so many compliments to me for toughing it out and not sounding or looking sick that I just got to read all of these. John Smith, MVP Survivor Medical Team for saving 3 lives. LVP, no idea, but I'll say Nick because he could get voted out next week for being strongest on his tribe. Tell you, I don't think we're getting an MVP or LVP this week. It seems like everybody kind of just ignored that and said that the Survivor Medical Team was the MVP, which really they were. Nobody else really did too much last week.
I mean, Kyle pretty much single-handedly might have saved Sydney's life. We don't know how bad she was, but, I mean, the triage went right to Caleb. So if he hadn't been there, I mean, he could be MVP, and he's on your team. So I'm just tossing it out there. But we got to listen to the people. This is democracy here at the Survivor Specialist. Yeah. So we got everyone voted medical team. That's on no one's fantasy team, so no points awarded.
No points. John Smith continued with, poor Caleb, at least he's doing well now. I think I was in the minority that actually liked him throughout the season. Most fans seem that they would prefer to have Beast Mode Cowboy on the show again. Do you think that Caleb should return for another season, maybe in a few years? I have no problem with it. I liked him. I think he had a lot of game left to play, and I'd like to see somebody like him come back who's going to give it their all and literally pass out for the show. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't think he is in the minority. I think pretty much
he worded that wrong somewhere.
Because he's talking about Cowboy from Cook Islands.
Oh.
He's saying people would rather have him back, that Cowboy, than this Cowboy, which I would be happy with either. I'd rather see the original Cowboy back just because it's Cook Islands. It's been longer. He came up with the vote split, which is insane. It came to him in a dream. I mean, they didn't use it, but That'd be cool.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I think that he was very likable. I think everybody really liked him here. Tony S., it was really impressive on Caleb's part that he basically won the challenge for beauty before he went down. You couldn't even tell he was in trouble until after they were done. Yeah, adrenaline was pumping, and then it stopped, and he just went down. Lorette, Neuron, rumors say, I mean, this is once again with Caleb. Yeah, he's got a shot. He's going to be on whatever season. She's asking about season 34.
Right.
He's going to be on it if they do it. Stephen Holt show, when Ty says I'm not going home with an idol in my pocket, it means he does. You were just saying that.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, they put those quotes in. They have so much to choose from. Like, they just have hours and hours of footage. They choose everything, like, very wisely. The Joe medevac still could happen just because Liz said maybe he gets medevaced.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here we go. Stephen Holt show. If you were sick, you looked and sounded great. I couldn't tell. It didn't show. Thanks, man. I really sucked it up. I really did. I do. And I always sound great too.
Yeah, you're
I am. The man crushing now. I feel like I'm Liz, and I don't like this feeling. But thanks for the compliment. Anyway, Mark Dean, I completely agree with Phil on the Alicia situation. However annoying Alicia is does not justify Scott and Jason's actions in any way. Also, Corinne Kaplan was hinting on Twitter that she is privy to some information that Scott and Jason were actually being a lot worse than the edit showed. I'm thinking one or both of them make it to the finals if the editors are trying to minimize their bullying and give it justification. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And yeah, I don't know if it's like justified. It's just like we don't know what was happening on that beach. So I'm not going to judge Scott. I mean, I'll judge them a little bit. I said this on the last podcast. Like, do I think they're the best, nicest people in the world? Absolutely not. But I don't think they're like awful humans. Like, they're put in an extreme situation, a very extreme situation. No sleep, no food, no one to talk to except the 5 people you're around, and one of them drives you insane. Like, you're not acting like yourself when you're out there. So I don't know. It's not justified, but I'm not going to rip them apart for it.
Yeah. Kaimana TV, why are your videos so long? Because we have huge egos and like hearing ourselves talk.
Yep.
That's pretty much it, right? That's spot on, I think.
I think it might be also because we get into sports talk sometimes. Like, we just had a 2 or 3 minute NCAA conversation. Most people are like, probably people turn it off. Like, well, what am I listening to?
Yeah. Except for Chef. He's still tweeting at us saying to keep doubting Syracuse. It's like, hey, man, I'm not doubting you. You guys are just not worthy. Justin Brizantine, I'm sure you guys could win, though. A lot of not worthy teams go far. Jeff Probst said in the panel with Fishbach and Poverty that they need to do more casts with fan votes because it caused all the second chance players to play all out, and he went so far as to say it was his favorite season at one point. I also feel as though the show has a recent influx of heroes with Mike, Terry, Joe, and Caleb, and villains with Jason, Dan Foley, and possibly Tony. Could you guys see a fan vote where you pick 10 of 16 heroes and 10 of 16 villains? If so, there are any others that I didn't mention that you'd like to see? I could definitely see them doing a fan vote again. And I would have no problem with the heroes versus villains thing. Dan Foley will never be on a CBS show again.
No,
never
no
again.
chance. I'm kind of liking this as a off-season podcast idea. I mean, we talk about returning play. We do this like all the time, but it is going to be the long off season. We've got the whole summer, so I'm definitely down to maybe do that one of the weeks. I'm going to read some of these comments. I think all your compliments are. No, here's your compliment. Here we go. Got Gamer Girl 2330. Phil, you don't sound like you have strep throat, but I do hope you feel better. I'm praying for you. Phil, are you back? Are you 100% healthy?
I'm off the antibiotic, man. I'm ready to rage.
There we go. She says Joe and the medical team were the MVP. Oh, Dr. Joe, not Joe, the FBI agent who doesn't do anything. He's LVP. She said Scott. We're probably not awarding an LVP, but I guess that's how it goes.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah, he could be. Maybe all 3 of them got heat stroke from digging in the sun for so long. I've had heat exhaustion, but not heat stroke. I didn't want any commercial breaks. That's how crazy it was. Yeah, I mean, I actually needed the commercial break just to kind of settle down a little bit. It was getting too intense for me. So I kind of like the commercial break. I don't know the difference between heat stroke and heat exhaustion. I kind of think of them as the same thing, honestly. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I mean, honestly, you called a scorpion an arachnid, and we got in trouble. So let's not talk about this now, huh?
No, I called it a reptile. It is an arachnid.
Oh, that's right. It is an arachnid. You called it a reptile. Somebody got really mad at us and said they'd never listen to us because we're such idiots over that. I mean, so don't
I'm
mess with
pretty
this heat
much an
exhaustion thing.
idiot on like everything except like Survivor and then some sports, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's me too, man. I'm not a very smart person. You want to read what about? I don't know if we should read this. I don't know what they're hinting at here.
I think it's just kind of we don't need to read it. Lima Chu the bro. Caleb sucks. He was overacting. That's just sarcasm. I that's kind of. I mean,
It says lie much, bro. By the way, it's not lie much, bro. It's lie much, bro.
Yeah, but it's way more fun to say Lima Chu. It's more fun to say. It's like what was that? The guys who his last name was De Jesus. Like, of course it's De Jesus, but De Jesus is funnier. Jaiwant Dang. Superficially, Scott and Kyle might look rude towards Alicia, but the sequence of events were different. Before the first tribal council, Scott decided to give Alicia another chance, but Alicia threw away her chance to win the trust of anybody in the tribe. That's the reason why these two guys turned against Alicia, because Alicia does not understand significance of winning trust in a game like Survivor. LVP Alicia, but she can't get LVP because she got voted out. That's one of our rules. And then MVP for Sydney for coming in from the outskirts and winning trust of the two guys. I think she had the trust the whole time, but I think that's a good comment. Two sides to the story, I guess. But if Corinne is saying that they were even worse, then that is, I mean, they were pretty bad already. So I can't really imagine what they were actually saying if they were worse.
Yeah, I don't really know. I have no idea. I wonder who Corinne heard it from.
Yeah, she wasn't out there. Like, I think she's actually friends with Neil.
Is that who it is?
But then, like, Neil wasn't there either. So
yeah.
She would, I mean, maybe Sydney is the only person. I mean, we can't trust Alicia saying they were more mean to me than it showed.
Yeah, because she's going to say that no matter what.
Right. And then, so it's got to be Sydney. If it's true.
Yeah, true.
Hey, do you know the tribe configuration? We don't. Sorry. John Smith, a lot of speculation about the new twist, seeing the promo being the Outcast twist. But I feel like Probst won't allow that. I think that since it's final 13, one person won't be picked, will be sent to exile or returned to place. That is kind of what I'm thinking. Some type of exile situation. I know they don't have Exile Island, but they can just make stuff up. They do this. They kind of improvise when people get medevac, stuff like that. So,
yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like, they would never do the Outcast twist, but if they're ever going to do it, this would be the season to do it because it was so unexpected that they were going to have a medevac there. And it would almost be like, hey, if we're going to bring one person back here and, like, make it 14, so it's 7-on-7, this would literally be the time to do it. They're never going to do it again, though, because that just ruined what would have been, in my opinion, the best season ever. Now, it's still in the top 10, but, I mean, come on, it destroyed it.
We talked to that subject to death if you want to listen to our season rankings. Because we had to retry it like 3 times. The internet kept cutting out. Yeah, Outcast is not coming back. But if they did do the twist, like, Liz wouldn't even be able to do it. Like, she actually got medevaced after getting voted out. So it is.
Supposedly, you could find a picture of her leg or something. It was really disgusting.
Ugh, gross.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah. We got Benjamin with Flar. Season 34 could be an all-winner season. I've heard that Earl and Mike might be playing again. I think it's going to be something where there's a winner's tribe versus a not winner's tribe. Like winners versus legends or winners versus jurors or something where we have a lot. It's because there are a lot of winners coming out of the woodwork.
It's winners versus things that Caleb fits into. That's pretty much what it is.
Hey, I kind of like Heroes vs. Villains too. I know this happens a lot. The second iteration of a theme or twist doesn't really go that well. Fanser's Favorites 2 was not good. Brains vs. Brawn vs. Duty, it's been okay, but Blood vs. Water wasn't. I mean, it's been okay so far, but we're only 4 episodes in. I mean, I love it so far, but I mean, from what we're hearing, it's not going to be better than Kaoh, which is tough to beat anyway. But then, like, Blood vs. Water 2 wasn't as good, but I'm still all for Heroes vs. Villains 2. I have no problem with them repeating that.
Yeah. It depends on what it is. I mean, if it's Heroes vs. Villains 2, you're getting all returnee players, and I'm okay with that because all returnee player seasons have been good except for the first All-Stars, which isn't even really that bad. It's just frustrating.
I like All-Stars.
It's just frustrating.
It is a little bit frustrating, but still, it's got the best final tribal council. I think that.
Have fun reading this one, man. This is a book, but you got to make sure you read the also part at least because the also part's the best part.
I don't think we can read comments this long. I think why Twitter is so great, it like limits characters and you got to really get your point across. This is a lot to read. I'm only going to read the last part, actually, unless you, I don't know, have you read it yet? You can summarize this comment. It's from CC Trubiak. We thank you for the comment, but if we could make it a little bit more concise in the future, we'd appreciate that.
He's pretty much just saying how
I'm
Scott,
kind of crushing on you,
Kyle.
Phil. This is what CC says. I'm kind of crushing on you, Phil. I'd love to see your character on Survivor get better soon. There you go.
Somehow somebody tell Jeff Probst to put me on the damn show. I mean, it's not like I haven't tried. Like,
I haven't tried that hard. I should try harder.
We should. We should like shoot each other's videos and stuff and like do patty cake and everything, you know. Really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Who Framed Roger Rabbit version of patty cake, just regular patty cake. But pretty much all CC Trubiak is saying is like Scott and Kyle have no clue what they're like. They don't show any type of emotional intelligence with Alicia, anything like that. Showed Sydney compassion at the challenge, but it doesn't make up for the butt mentality he has towards Alicia. Brains Tribe and Kagayan lost their first 3 tribe mates. Editing made it abundantly clear they're questionably smart. The edit poked fun at them for their flubs and so forth. But this time, all the Brawns have is brawn. They do not exhibit brains or beauty. I don't find them complex. They're pretty one-dimensional. Whereas players on brains and beauty seem to embody brains, brawn, and beauty. How can Kyle or Scott be primed to win if they appear to lack some essential components of being a sole survivor? I mean, I read like bits and pieces there, but
you read about 10% of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but no, keep commenting. We love the comments. We have a comment from Breaking Lost Thrones. That's a great username. Got to get Survivor somewhere in there, though, because it's definitely in the ranks. It can be mentioned with those names. Prediction. In the next episode, these survivors will do what Congress couldn't. Impeach Obama. I hope that doesn't happen because I have Peter as my eliminator pick. So I'm not seeing it that way. We've already talked about Peter, how he's kind of a free agent. Anthony Beam, the Braun tribe is one of the worst tribes in history. I remember you guys saying, I can't see them losing. It's okay. We all make mistakes. I remember there's no way Liz will at least make the merge. Well, I thought both of those things were true, but that's just, I mean, that's why we watch. It's like, you know, we're going to loop NCAA tournament back. It's like why they play the games. You know, we have the 16 seed. The 16 seed is going to be a 1 seed one of these days. We've seen 15 seeds do it. I mean, it's unpredictable, and that's what makes it fun to watch. So if you could predict everything, we wouldn't watch it. That's why I absolutely hate spoilers, because then it just literally ruins all the fun. I mean, there's still some fun.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, this season is very spoiler-free. I'm very impressed with the world right now. And if there are spoilers out there and any of you posted, I will be angry. But so far, I have not heard or seen anything about this. We don't even know the tribes for this week. That's crazy in terms of Survivor keeping things secret.
Yeah, because that's something that Redmond will, I think, go after, and that it's like within his morality. He has like a whole moral compass in regards to what he spoils, like locations, themes, twists, but like not boots, stuff like that. So I'm surprised he didn't get this one, but it will be fun. Now, honestly, it's going to be cool to have that first reaction during the show, seeing the new tribes come together, meet each other, all that fun stuff. Anthony Beam, I wish Alicia would have made it to the swapped one with Beauty Woman. I really feel like Anna will win. I just feel it. But now that I've said it, she'll go home soon. That happens to all of us. But Anna, I still got to stick with her for the winner pick. Let's head over to the other YouTube video.
Yeah,
this YouTube video. Continue commenting if you're still around. You have this loaded up. Okay.
I'm feeling good because I'm not sick no more. Well, I can read a little bit here. John Smith, who else do you think will be medevaced at some point in this season? My guesses are Joe and Sydney. You know, those are two really good guesses, especially after how Sydney went down and Joe is just the older male, kind of hinted at by Liz. I could definitely see Joe and Sydney being the two people who go.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen to anybody. You'd think that if Sydney were going to get medevaced, it would have already happened. Like, that would have been her time. Like, once you kind of almost die and come back to life, then you're twice as strong, you know? So,
I mean, it still could happen, though, you know. You want me to keep reading? You want to read? I'll let you read the next one. Henry Alford, I get a Russell and Natalie vibe from Kyle and Sydney. I don't know how Scott fits into it, though. By the way, we should have a Phil and Will bracket pool. Yeah, and the Gamer Girl says spot on what I was going to say. Scott is Mick, only worse. Giovanni says Scott is no one. Nobody's like Scott. I agree. He's kind of like Mick, where he's just a non-factor. I don't think Scott really has a chance to win, and I could totally see Jason and Sydney being the Russell and Natalie, because here's Sydney, super likable, could get to the end, and here's Jason, who's just too abrasive.
That could happen, but everyone really hates Scott. And I guess it's just from this really negative episode in episode 4. But I think before he was doing things that were right. I mean, when Jenny was going to flip on that second tribal council, I think Scott was the one who like wired her back in. Mm-hmm. And of course she ended up going home, but he showed some like gameplay, some skill. Or maybe that was just the edit, but do you agree? Or am I just kind of...
No, I think that everybody started out liking Scott. I think it's mainly last week because he was just so obnoxious about that for really, I mean, yeah, there might be a reason deep down, but like he showed no like awareness there. And everybody kind of hates him for it. Sorry, man, that's how quick it happens these days.
No, I know it's instantaneous, but he did show like good gameplay in episode 2. And it's like everyone immediately forgets that once he calls Alicia Blondie and that she didn't play basketball. So we got Peter Rubenstein. Will, how was your wedding? It was a lot of fun. It was a great weekend. It was on the Newport Beach, so I haven't really been down there. A lot of fun. Proud nurse. In the preview for next week's episode, Jeff tells the contestants to drop their buffs and that there's a twist. What do you think the twist is? Could be related to the odd number of people swapping tribes. I think that's exactly what it's about. That's what Phil was saying. I'm gonna stick with that prediction for now. I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah, I think that's what it's got to be. I can't think of anything else for now.
Got Gamer Girl 2330. As much as I majorly disagree with you guys on the beauty girls, they're just like Cagayan's beauty girls. I sadly see them making the merge jury just like most of the Cagayan beauty girls did. I don't know. I
don't think so.
I don't compare them to I don't see really the similarity other than that they're females on the beauty tribe. Like that's honestly that's as far as I'm seeing it. I think like even Julia has like more kind of game
going for her than Jeffra
or Morgan
or Alexis.
I think Alexis was more of a player, and she just kind of the tribe swap happened and got booted.
If Michelle or Anna get booted this week, I'll start to believe her. Especially if it's Michelle, because Michelle looks the most like Alexis, Anna looks the most like Morgan, and Julia looks the most like Jeffra. So if Michelle gets booted this week, I will start to believe her.
The hair colors do line up. But again, it's only 3 people, so it's not that crazy of a coincidence. Mm-hmm. Any new dating tips? I don't have any, Phil. I don't have any this week.
I don't have anything. We just got to let it come naturally. It's just got to be natural.
Can't ask for the dating tips. They'll come. They'll come when they come.
We get Final Four tips this week. Like Henry Alfords, don't pay attention to him. That's just
We'll get there. We got Nippy Eppin. How is being weak not got to do with going home post swap? If anything, that's when being weak is a good thing. Check your logic.
Not necessarily. Alexis went home because she was weak.
Yeah, I mean, you're still pre-merge. You still, like, once you hit the merge, you're going to every tribal council. Like, you can't avoid tribal. You can win immunity. That's all you can do. Winning challenges is huge. Like, it is, and I know the podcast, the internet, we love talking strategy and votes and stuff like that. But challenges are, like, really crucial to this game. I mean, you just don't want to go to tribal. It's honestly huge. So I think you got to keep strong people around.
I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, recently, I mean, I know Joaquin went. He was a strong guy, but, like, I don't know. It's no longer as cut and dry as it was in the early days. It's definitely a little bit different now. But if I'm going to do my power rankings, there's no way I'm going to put Aubrey at 3 like Will did, because I just fear that people are going to look at her and say she's no use to our tribe. And it's still, they don't know how long this is going to last. They don't know, especially with people getting medevac and stuff like that. Who knows? They could have a final 10. Before they merge. You never know. It's happened that late before. Why couldn't it happen that late again? So I keep weak people at the bottom of mine.
Right. I just think Aubrey, she can be good with everybody on that branch tribe. Maybe like even Peter. I think they have shown no kind of beef. So I think that's why I have her so high, just because she's going to land on at least – there's going to be another brain on her tribe for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless she's on a tribe of 6 and it's 2 brawn, 3 beauty. But then she's a free agent, so I don't know. I think Aubrey will be okay. And the reason that I think more people, like stronger people, are getting out post swap is because merges are happening so much earlier, and also it's just the mindset of the game has become so make a big move, strategize and not really think about the challenges as much. So there definitely is some. Nippy Ippin has a good point here. Like early days, early days, it was, you swapped and then you were together for maybe 4 episodes, 5 episodes. So
yeah, you never know here.
All right, we got Proud Nurse. Kentucky will win it all. Go Big Blue. They could.
Sure.
I don't think they will.
I sure
but
hope not.
Yeah,
Calipari was funny tonight, though. If anybody didn't see that, go watch that. It was hysterical.
What was funny?
Calipari tonight. I'm not like a huge Calipari fan. Yeah. He was hilarious tonight. He was so right, just calling out the committee on all of their bullshit. It was hysterical. Go watch that. If nobody's seen that clip and you even remotely like college basketball, it's hysterical. It's so funny.
Now, we're going to have to start doing maybe a March Madness podcast. Henry Alford, here we go. Henry Alford says Maryland, Duke, UNC, Purdue, Final Four. I like Purdue. I think they're underrated.
I like Purdue, man, but they play Arkansas Little Rock in round 1, and Arkansas Little Rock is so scary. They're so much better than they got seeded. It's so ridiculous. But nobody ever watched Arkansas Little Rock, so I'll just pick that and walk away.
Got Daniel De Jesus says, wow, thanks for the shout out. Will, thanks for commenting. Peter Rubenstein, how do you guys think Redmond gets his information, and do you think he has a life? That's kind of taking a little bit of a jab at us. Is it?
Why is that taking a jab at us? Why?
Because Redmond's obsessed with Survivor, and that's what we do, kind of.
No, that's not a jab at us. Peter Rubenstein would never take a jab at us. He's mad about the Syracuse thing, but he still wouldn't take a jab at us.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I'm always not, maybe I'm not my emotional awareness.
No, I think that you just have such a strong feeling towards Redmond that this makes you a little frustrated. Because Redmond gets information more than us. But, I don't envy Redmond.
Well, he definitely has contacts that work on the show. Like people in production, people probably in Los Angeles, CBS, and they say, this is what's happening. So it's like a reporter. How they have sources, they don't disclose their sources, and that's kind of how it goes. I think that's all comments.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty.
Oh, wait! There might be one that just snuck in. No, Peter Rubenstein, not taking a jab at you guys at all. Love you guys. See?
Right, there we go. All right. Well, we will see you Wednesday after the show. I'm looking forward to it. I really hope this season kind of keeps going with its, good episodes, because I am getting a bit worried now because it's been so good and the hype was just so low.
I agree. No, I agree. I'm hoping that we don't fall apart here because it would suck. It would be like an early 20 season where it just starts off great and then just, oh God, what's going to happen? But I don't know. I like the cast enough here. This cast is going to have to do a lot of damage to really disappoint me.
Or Pagong. Like we could just have a really boring.
But what tribe gets Pagonged? Like I don't even know who would get Pagonged.
No, just like 2 alliances will like come together, or the two swap tribes. They just one tribe wins out. I don't know. All right, well, we'll see you guys Wednesday. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, throw us a subscribe, and then continue commenting. That's what we like to do best. Thanks.